FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
What I want to describe very quickly is where we are now in terms of negotiations between India and Pakistan. We've spared you the 60s and 70s, but one event that occurred there was an agreement after the 1971 war between a defeated Pakistan and a victorious India that henceforth all negotiations about their outstanding disputes, including Kashmir, would be handled bilaterally. So when the Obama administration came in, President Obama in October of 2008, just before his election, made the most expansive comments that any presidential candidate has made about Kashmir since Kennedy. He said, isn't it time to solve this in effect? Isn't it time for the Indian government to recognize that this is a bleeding wound on its global aspirations? And isn't it time for Pakistan to recognize that its interests lie in taking the militant strain out of this conflict since it's rebounding against the Pakistani state? He said all of that, and then he did absolutely nothing and never spoke about it again, in part because when he explored the possibility of having Richard Holbrooke's remit include Kashmir, the Indians, invoking the Simla Accord or Simla Agreement, said, no doing. This is a bilateral negotiation. Now, one reason why the Americans backed off so quickly when India did that is that they were aware that in private, between 2004 and 2007, using back-channel envoys meeting in hotel rooms in Bangkok and Dubai and elsewhere, the governments of India and Pakistan had actually undertaken a pretty serious negotiation and had concluded, in fact, in the spring of 2007, a framework agreement that covered Kashmir and that would have at least illuminated a path toward what the two governments thought would be a viable permanent settlement. Now, there are a lot of questions about how far along that negotiation really was, at least in my own mind, questions. And I think it certainly did not include signature space for Kashmiris in some representative way. But it is a factor because there's a sense that the two governments have been on the verge of an agreement.